ladies and gents, from the pimps that we smoke to the rent that we pay, it's just another way to say that we are all under the umbrella of corporations that see us as a dollar because we show ourselves that way. Talking about them swagging that shit grinding every day. Do you really know how stupid we looking? We need to take back now before everything took in the prisoner with no booking while Uncle Sam is saluting. Fuck that. Mind knowing to bust back, whether with war or a scrap. I attack the fact that we are a nation of free, but we have been taken to modern day slavery, mesmerized by celebrities. I won't let it be. What has been fed it to me, I throw up. Over the years, things have been made clear. The rich, they rich, and the poor get poor. While we trip over Ford Explorers, caddies, 22s, and bumps. Fuck y'all stupid, sticking up your dumb. Like Popeye, you need a hit of this spinach to finish the demonic plutonic feed from this government. Fuck them, they all on that Mitch-ish. In these streets, fuck NWO, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. Motherfuck you and fuck the police and fuck the government, no justice, no peace. Applaud when they speak like a dog on they leash. Nigga, you got 3 eyes, keep you on me, cause ain't no love. In the hearts of these 10 men, I stand with the heart of like 10 men. So motherfucker, go ease on down. Take a look behind the wheel, see who running the town. Political, mass deception, even elections are fucking lied about in the interest of your protection. What gives them erections is telling people they free, but when you vote, they don't count your selections. So what are you protecting? Your rights of perception. Damn the medicine, they rather spread the infection. MLK, and I guess I got a death wish, cause I have a dream and I ain't talking about inception. I lay awake at night smoking on some potent shit, wishing Babylon would fall so we could just get it over with. It's evident the evidence show failure of lungs. Thought he was killed by your seal, you dumb. My country, tears of thee. Whatever happened to the sweet land of liberty? It was sold to the highest bidder contender on Wall Street. Fucking WO. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Motherfuck you and fuck the police and fuck the government. No justice, no peace. Applaud when they speak like a dog on they leash. Nigga, you got 3 eyes, keep 2 on me, cause ain't no love. In the hearts of these 10 men, I stand with the heart of like 10 men. So motherfucker, go ease on down. Take a look behind the wheel, see who running the town.
What it do? It's your brother Max Sick the Don, aka Akhenaten, aka Tutankhamun, aka Tahuti's son, which means I shine through the wisdom. And I am here today to bring you a few current events. A few things happened over the past few days. Couple of things that I feel needed to be brought to my brothers and sisters within our community. We need to know. We need to know. We need to know. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right on into it. You dig me? Let's go.
The bombshell report from the Wall Street Journal a few days ago about the Biden DOJ planning to pay off illegals who crossed during the Trump administration has the Biden White House very confused today. Earlier this week, you'll remember, Biden denied that these payments were going to happen. Listen.
There were reports that were surfacing that your administration is planning to pay illegal immigrants who are separated from their families at the border up to $450,000 each, possibly $1 million per family. Do you think that that might incentivize more people to come over illegally?
If you guys keep sending that garbage out, yeah, but it's not true.
So this is a garbage report?
Yeah.
Okay. So
$450,000 per person. Is that what you're saying?
That was separated from a family member at the border under the last administration.
That's not going to happen.
And even though Biden said that the report was garbage, the ACLU released a statement saying Biden was not fully briefed, quote unquote, by the DOJ regarding the negotiations between the ACLU attorneys and the DOJ. And it's not just the ACLU who contradicted Biden. His very own press team came back to do cleanup and circle back, if you will, on Biden's comments. Karine Jean-Pierre spoke to reporters and said that Biden does agree with the payouts. He just meant that the dollar figure was garbage. Watch.
If it saves taxpayer dollars and puts the disastrous history of the previous administration's use of zero tolerance and family separation behind us, the president is perfectly comfortable with the Department of Justice settling with the individuals and families who are currently in litigation with the U.S. government.
Now, listen to that. I want everybody to pay attention to what this woman just said. She just basically, once again, tried to make it seem like it is a litigation that's going on. These families are suing the United States, even though, from my understanding, you couldn't sue the United States. Dr. Claude Anderson has had a case for reparations in the courts for I don't even know how many years. That's how long this man has been going to these courts. And they've told this man everything along the lines from freaking he couldn't represent all black people to they just couldn't see how it would go. This is dumb. This is dumb. But then you put this black woman on there talking about how if it can, if it can make the situation better, rather than all the money we would have to pay if they took us to court, they wouldn't win. They wouldn't win at all. You have illegal people coming to our borders, breaking the law to get in here, and you're telling me that there's a case. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Run that back. What's this broad say?
If it saves taxpayer dollars and puts the disastrous history of the previous administration's use of zero tolerance and family separation behind us, the president is perfectly comfortable with the Department of Justice settling with the individuals and families who are currently in litigation with the U.S. government.
What about slavery? What about the atrocities that we had to go through? Mr. President, and then you get motherfuckers coming around, excuse my French, I'm going to try hard not to cuss out these people. We see stuff like this, comfortable, very comfortable, he said. He says that he had no problem paying these people after he said it was garbage. The answer comes just a day after Biden labeled as garbage. A report that his administration was considering $450,000 per person payments. But here he is. If anybody deserves that money, it would be us. And I'm about to show you why. Beyond all of the stuff that is already out there, the Jim Crow laws, the 400 years of slavery, the 400 years of oppression, beyond all that, something big happened on the 25th of October. And now no one can speak shit or talk nothing about how America is post-racial because we had a black president and why can't you just let things go? And all this other stuff. Well, here's why. The U.S. guilty of genocide. The United Nations found the USA guilty of genocide against black and brown people on October 25th, 2021. After hearing from over 30 witnesses and receiving hundreds of documents and panels of international jurists, a panel of international jurists found the U.S. government and its subdivisions guilty of genocide and gross human rights violations. So where's our money? Where's our reparations? Where's our reparations? Because this doesn't make any sense. Your press secretary just stated
taxpayer dollars and puts the disastrous history of the previous administration. If it saves taxpayer dollars, and puts the disastrous history of the previous administration's use of zero tolerance and family separation behind us, the president is perfectly comfortable with the Department of Justice settling with the individuals and families who are currently in litigation with the U.S. government.
I can tell you about family separation. How about all the families that were separated during slavery? How about all the families that were separated due to the Jim Crow laws that was implemented by Jim Crow Joe? I mean, like, I really don't see how you can look at one situation and not see the huge hypocrisy of the other. It doesn't make any sense. Especially when it's proven. This is from workers.org. This is a statement directly from the council, the jury, the international jurors, who literally came back with a guilty verdict. Oh, here we are with the judgment. After having heard the testimonies of numerous victims of police racism, mass incarceration, environmental racism, public health inequalities, and of political prisoners/prisoners of war. Those are the 5 counts of genocide that is being tried here. Those are the 5 counts. Police racism, mass incarceration, environmental racism, public health inequalities, and political prisoners/prisoners of war. Together with expert testimonies and graphic presentations, as well as copious documents submitted and admitted into the record. The panel of jurists found the U.S. and its subdivisions guilty on all 5 counts. We found grounds that acts of genocide have been committed. We found grounds that acts of genocide have been committed. So where's our money, Joe? Where is the restitution, Joe? Where is our satisfaction, Joe? And see, you got all these supporters of Joe Biden coming out trying to, talk about, oh, well, see, he wasn't going to do it, this, that, and the third. But here he says 2 things they made very evident. 1, he don't know what's going on in his own damn administration. And 2, once they corrected him, what did he do? He came back and he sat there and said that he didn't mean that like that. He just wasn't agreeing on the dollar amount. But Joe, But Joe, I thought it was garbage. I thought it was trash, Joe. This was signed on October 25th, 2021, panel of jurists, Church Center of the United Nations. And these are the individuals who signed. These are the individuals representing many nations, America being represented several times. These were the people who said America has committed genocide against black and brown people in this country. Until this day, up until this day. And this is only from the time that the slaves was released, from the time of the 13th Amendment. Police killings. Testimony was heard regarding an alarming pattern and practice of police murdering black and brown and indigenous people with impunity. We were informed that a recent commission on inquiry found that black people are 3.5 times more likely than white people to be killed by police when blacks are not attacking or do not have a weapon. Disaggregate data for other people is lacking. 3.5 times more likely to be killed than a white person by police when they are not attacking or do not have a weapon. So I ask again, what's going on, Joe? Because the fact of the matter is, this is just a disrespect and a slap to the face of every descendant of a slave that built this country. But here we have it. The United Nations has ruled in favor of us, saying, clear as day, on all 5 counts, the United States is guilty, including their subdivisions, of acts of genocide. Now, the real question is, what's going to happen from here? What's going to happen from here? Y'all need to cut that check. That's what's going to happen. Because if you haven't noticed, more and more people in the black community are starting to wake up. Even the apologist and vote blue no matter who people are waking up. Even the apologists and the vote blue no matter who people are starting to wake up. They might not say nothing because they're so embarrassed. But real ones are starting to come out and they're really starting to speak out against the situation. If you want to give money out to people all willy-nilly because you just gave the Afghan refugees $6.8 billion and flew them over here first class, you just gave illegal immigrants money in the last bill that y'all just passed for COVID. And let me read these charges again. Police killings, mass incarceration, political prisoners / prisoners of war. I want to read this mass incarceration thing real quick because it is very profound And it directly tells the story of what we literally been going through. We've been discussing this. We've been talking about this for ages now. Testimony emphasized that in the case of the United States Constitution law, while the 13th Amendment promised the abolish of the process of chattel slavery, it in fact created an exception incentivizing the incarceration of black people, the incarceration of people of African descent and other peoples. Further argued that a school to prison pipeline has been set in motion by the racialized policies and programs of the U.S. federal and state government. One testimonial noted, the law is used as a weapon of war against black and brown and indigenous people. Further testimony indicates that there are U.S. policies of war on poverty, war on drugs, war on terror, and others amounting to the war on black and brown indigenous people as they disproportionately criminalize their youth and communities. They were found guilty of this. 100%. So, where's our check? Where is our check? Because this doesn't make any sense. $450,000. And this report says here the total amount paid out could be close to reaching $1 billion to settle this lawsuit. Over $1 billion to settle this lawsuit. I don't know what kind of crack cocaine they're smoking up there on Capitol Hill. I don't know. I don't know what kind of drugs they're taking. Maybe they're taking some, super advanced drugs that we're not allowed in the community, out in the public, because, they be coming up with some outlandish stuff. Like, you got to ask yourself, like, y'all making drugs where you guys are and y'all doing them. Gotta be. You gotta be, because it doesn't make any sense. The stuff that you guys let come out from Capitol Hill, come from the White House. It doesn't make any sense. DC is full of politicians doing drugs. Heavy drugs. Have to be. Have to be. I just wanted to do this quick video to bring to light that the U.S. government has been charged with genocide by the United Nations, and you're not hearing it on any major publication. You don't hear it on NBC. You ain't hearing it on CNN. None of them. Fox, nothing. You ain't hearing nothing. Well, my brothers and sisters, you heard it here. I bring you this information so that we can spread it. Share this information. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's get this out. Let's get past these algorithms. We gotta do what we gotta do to make people aware of things like this. So with that being said, like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe if you felt that this video gave you any type of value. And with that being said, I'm going to end with a vote blue no matter who representative, Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter, Bernice King. And this is what she had to say about the $450K that's supposed to be going to these immigrants, these illegal people who broke the law to try and get here?
My heart is extremely heavy right now. And I hope all who hear this message and have the power to do something will act. While I, like so many of you, care deeply for the families separated at our border and believe that assisting them is the just thing to do, I question how the president of this nation has it in his heart to consider this without also expressing and working to fulfill the need for reparations for Black people who have endured generations of physical and relational, psychological, legislative, and yes, economic trauma. As my father said, we must recognize that we can't solve our problem now until there is a radical redistribution of economic and political power. This radical redistribution must include, in my words, comprehensive reparations for Black people. This, my brothers and sisters in the beloved community, is an urgent matter and must become a priority for our nation.